Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. And I've got a knife that is really outside of my wheelhouse, but which, number one, is very well loved. I mean, extremely well loved. Has an interesting connection to the industry. It's designed by Sharp and Pointy Swags, built by CJRB. It's definitely smaller for me, but this one also has some other feature that stands out, and that is this is an Integrity Knives exclusive version of the Maliah. And what they've done here is gone with S35VN steel and this really nice looking green micarta with a black blade and gold hardware. So all of those little sort of flourishes, if you will, and of course the upgraded material, that's stuff that if you want it, you're going to have to go with this particular version, which, hey, that's really, really cool. And I have to give some credit to Integrity Knives for doing this. Number one, in Canada, we don't see a lot of exclusives. You know, there's tons of Blade HQ and Knife Center exclusives. But for a smaller Canadian company to do one is really, really cool. So I want to give Integrity Knives a lot of credit. I will put a link to their website down below. And if you want one of these, that's where you've got to go to get it. So really good on Integrity Knives for doing what they've done with this exclusive version of the Maliah. Now, well, I have already stated that this knife is kind of outside of my wheelhouse. It's definitely smaller than what I generally enjoy carrying. I have to also say that I get it. I get why people like this knife so much. It's a rather compelling design. All right, it's reasonably comfortable in hand for what it is. And of course, this particular one has some cool features going on. And by the way, the other thing I have to say is it's a very fidgety knife. I've had some small front flippers before, and generally I don't love them. But this one, the action, and you know, this is a knife I really found myself sitting on the couch fidgeting with a lot because it's an enjoyable knife to play around with while you're kind of, you know, absentmindedly reading a book or watching TV or doing whatever else. So I really have to give props to CJRB for that, or maybe, you know, if it was Sharp and Pointy Swags who kind of designed the angle and where that front flipper would sit. Whoever designed this deserves a lot of credit because it's pretty well done. This is a little knife, okay? 5.5 inches overall, 2 3/8 inches on the blade, 3 5/16 closed. This is small. It weighs, of course, basically nothing, 2.14 ounces. So if size is a concern for you, if you find a lot of knives too big to be comfortably carried, and if you maybe, you know, you don't like a large knife for whatever reason, this will be a good option for you. So let's put that out there right away. This is not, again, there'll be a lot of people who really, really like a 3-inch or under blade, and this will be a great knife for them. All right, so let's go ahead and work our way through this knife, beginning with the blade. We've got S35VN steel, flat grind, reverse tanto here, fairly thin blade stock. And so I find the reverse tanto a nice touch because it adds some extra strength and durability to that tip, which gives you a little more confidence. You know, I still wouldn't want to be out in the woods surviving with this knife. I certainly wouldn't want to use it in some kind of a tactical situation. But at least they have given you a little more confidence by providing that particular blade grind that's kind of geared toward being a little extra tough, a little extra durable. All right, it's a flat grind. It's thin behind the edge, 17 thousandths. Cuts pretty darn well. This cardboard I've used up already. That's just why I'm having a hard time with it, because you know, it's kind of soft from being beat up and carried around, and so it's not cooperating as nicely as a brand new piece would, but this does cut very well for small jobs. Obviously, you don't have a lot of reach, you know, so you're not going to be cutting up any apples, but it will do fine if you don't have to cut something in half. All right, you know, whittling on a stick, it's probably good to go. Thin edge geometry, we already mentioned, and S35VN steel is a great steel. The coating, I've used this, I've carried it. Now, again, I haven't used it as much because it's too small for me to find appealing and comfortable, but I purposely went out and did a bunch of cutting with this. I've done some kitchen stuff with it. I've done some outdoor stuff with it just because I wanted to be able to share with you how it's held up. And you can see, even with cutting some wood and some cardboard and stuff like that, the finish is pretty nice. I know I've got some gunk on it, but it's not, if I kind of rub away the whatever sticky stuff was on there, you can see that the finish has held up pretty well over the time that I've been using it. So I think this blade is good for its size. Moving on to the action, this I have to say is very, very nice. This blade, whether you use the thumb stud or the front flipper, really snaps open. It's really, really satisfying. It's a little awkward in terms of where it lands. It's a little awkward in terms of size because you kind of got to reposition your hand, but look at that. It's very easy to deploy. It's natural. I don't have to think about it. It just flies open, thumb stud or front flipper. The liner lock is a little difficult to access, and I think that's just a matter of the size of this knife. I kind of find myself having to figure out how to reposition my thumb and get it there and get my other fingers out of the way. So as you can see, I have no problem with it, but it does take a little bit of attention to get your thumb kind of jammed into that liner and get a hold of it and get it out of the way. That's my only complaint about the action. Everything else is pretty, oh no, it's not. Actually, I have two complaints about the action. The other complaint is this. As I move this through its range of motion, I can kind of feel those bearings roll around, and that's after taking this apart, cleaning it, trying to get it, as smooth as possible. It's just a little rough. And the only thing I can think of is maybe it's a little inconsistent in the recesses that are cut into the micarta. I don't know what else to tell you. It just is not as smooth as it could be if you kind of do a slow roll. So let's see, I'll try to demonstrate. So as I'm doing this, all right, I can feel just some not rough, but I can feel the bearings rolling around in there, all right, which I generally is not the case. And with most CJRBs, it's not the case. I'm assuming that probably with most Maliahs, it's not the case. By the way, I am going to give this one away. So if you follow me on Instagram and follow Integrity Knives on Instagram, go ahead and comment. I'm going to post. I'll give. It'll be a fully outlined giveaway post. So you'll be very familiar. You'll be able to go, oh yeah, okay, here are the rules. The rules are going to be follow me, follow Integrity Knives, and comment down below. And if you do those three things, I'll enter you in a giveaway. And when I finally, in a week's time or so, when I pick the name, I'll just send it out to somebody. Okay, obviously, there are a couple reasons for that. One, Integrity Knives gave me this knife for free to review. Number two, this is too small for me. I have no interest in keeping it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and give this away, and give it away in a way that will give Integrity Knives some extra attention. So those are the two little hiccups that I have with this. Otherwise, no problem. Ergonomics, it's a 3-finger knife, and I don't like 3-finger knives. So I want to put that out there right away. For a 3-finger knife, it's fine. All right. If you're used to having something small that doesn't fit in your hand right, then you'll be totally happy with it, I'm sure, because it's pretty comfortable for what it is. The green micarta is very nice and very grippy. I think that's a great touch. Nice run of jimping out here, so I've kind of got a spot for my thumb to land when it's in a saber-ish grip. All right. The construction, it's got a liner on the lock side. The micarta side has nothing. Micarta backspacer, integrated lanyard, flush fitting. I've got to give some credit for this. Look at this. Flush fitting deep carry clip. Now that does mean it's single position. For me, whenever I carry this knife, I just dropped it in my pocket anyway, but I know for the lefties, you would like that to be over here. Sorry about that. There's not really, there's no option you can see. So either if you're a lefty, you'd have to kind of carry this backwards. I carried it just dropped in my pocket anyway. If you're a righty, it's going to be good because not only is it a deep carry clip, with flush screws, but it's also flush to the scale, which I really, really enjoy. And I wish that we saw that a little more often. All right. Now, comparisons. This is going to be tough because I don't have a lot of small knives. I do have the CJRB Feldspar White Mountain Knives exclusive with the I don't know, purple, burgundy, micarta, whatever it's supposed to be called. I'm pretty sure when I reviewed this, I called it the wrong color, but it looks purple to me. We've got a Civivi Brazen. Uh, Guys, these are all my knives from my collection, so none of them are the right size. By the way, Integrity Knives did have some brazens in stock, and I believe they still do. Here it is beside a Rat Model 1. Rat Model 1 is a little more in my wheelhouse, so now you can kind of see why I'm not totally in love with this knife in terms of the size. But I have mentioned already that I do kind of like it. It's a pretty cool design. Overall conclusion, this is a decent knife, and especially for those who need a small knife or want a small knife as maybe a backup, or if you want to buy something for someone who's not into knives and they won't carry something bigger, I think this would be a great gift, especially the Integrity Knives exclusive, because not everyone's going to have one. You're going to have nicer materials, nice pop of color with the gold and the black. So that's a good option, of course. The other thing is, if you love this knife, if you're one of the many people who commented on my first impressions saying how much you love the Maliah, then you're going to be especially compelled by this because it's in S35VN. So I have this problem, and I know many of you do as well. When I come to a knife that I really like and it comes out in a better steel, I just really feel compelled to buy it. So that is also something to consider. All right. Overall, there's not too many issues with this. The ergonomics are good. The construction is good. The materials are good. It's got that little roughness in the travel, but watch when I deploy it. So that's how fast this deploys. You really don't have time to notice that there's a little bit of roughness there. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to go and check over on Instagram if you're interested in winning this knife. You'll have to follow me over there. Again, follow Integrity Knives and comment. I'm not sure when this video is going to post, but I'll make sure that the video posts before the giveaway. So if you're watching this, if you watch this right away, you should have an opportunity to go and enter that. Now, if you're watching it 2 years from now, sorry, of course, it'll be long over. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will talk to you soon.